Welcome back to Top Cut here, Gym Challenge, Saturday, February 10th, I think. Dennis Geisler, Ryan Wayne here with me for Top Cut. We have semifinals here between Benjamin Harlan and Junxi.
Yes, on Benjamin's side, we got Regidrago, Farigiraf, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Tornadus Incarnate, and Metagross.
And Junxi with the Incineroar, Amoonguss, Golden Go, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Porygon 2, and Landorus Incarnate. We've seen this Porygon 2 a handful. We saw Benjamin's team earlier, for one. Got a nice victory, mostly around that Urshifu Rapid Strike. We've also seen this team out of Junxi in the past with that Terra Poison download Terra Blast Porygon 2 with Terra Blast as its primary same type attack bonus option.
It's a Pokemon that is definitely, if you're running a Trick Room team, it behooves you to run it. I've seen that paired with Team Blue and stuff. I was watching I believe it was the German regionals and saw it on the team, and I'm like, it's here to stay, it's here to play.
And it's a nice option against Trick Room as well. Like, it's just a very slow Pokemon, but it does good damage. Download can get it a nice boost in damage. Eviolite makes it very bulky.
And it has its own recovery, which is always great.
It does, yeah. And I think even earlier, like, I think either we saw a Porygon 2 earlier, I'm blanking on who was actually bringing it, with like 3 different moves. Like, it's surprisingly flexible just because it has so many move options. It's able to bring Ice Beam and Thunderbolt to a single battle, which is always very valuable.
Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Benjamin's versus CGR. Pikazo. All right. And our first 2 Pokemon will be Porygon 2 and that Goldango. And Tornadus and Regidrago. We have Team Fast versus Team Trick Room right here.
Indeed we do. I know that Benjamin really likes, I overheard Benjamin talking earlier with his opponent from earlier about liking that Regidrago, wanting to get some use out of it. This is Choice Scarf Regidrago with Dragon Energy, able to just like click all the damage that it needs to. Is it enough damage to pick out the Porygon 2? I don't think so.
There's always one way to find out.
There's always one way to find out, but...
Is that the most strategically viable right now?
The downside would be that Porygon 2 would get Trick Room up if it wants to. It might not want to get Trick Room up. It does have Ice Beam to just, like, really hurt Regidrago.
Yeah. We do look at his team. Most of it, or at least the Urshifu... Oh, we are going to see that switch into...
Switch out.
The Rillaboom.
Interesting choice. I'll wait to see how the rest of this plays out.
I think it's mostly for the priority, because if you're going to get something that's going to, it does about half on that. If you get something with priority, you're able to mitigate having to navigate that Trick Room like we see right here, especially because this is a scarfed Regidrago. So, definitely going last now.
Yeah, definitely going last. So a lot going on in that play. The Earth Power doing not enough to Golden Go. It won't be able to finish it off likely. Maybe the High Horsepower will, but the Golden Go should still be slower than the Rillaboom, I'd imagine.
Yes.
And past that, the Golden Go does now have a nasty plot up. Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, Protect, its other 3 moves with Metal Coat. Do a ton of damage here by just launching out a Make It Rain, potentially, and trying to layer that with Porygon 2 damage.
I do see the fake out going into the Porygon 2, but I feel because it doesn't have any Protect or anything, because of that Assault Vest, I think it's a safe thing to double into it right now.
Yeah, I think so, and that's the thing here, is that the Golden Go can't be faked out. I think that's the advantage here. The Amoonguss comes in, it does have Rocky Helmet, so it'll do a little damage back.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Benjamin, getting rid of that Grass type means it is now able to be spored. It is now able to be redirected. The look on Benjamin's face, he knew that he's in a sticky situation right now.
Yeah, and the Golden Go is going to protect anyways, so it's going to get out of this turn regardless. Nice defensive turn from Junxi here.
Very much so.
It was the fake out. Because if it was a read onto the fake out, or just saying I don't actually need this fake out and going for the High Horsepower into the Golden Go, I think that was a nice potential option for Benjamin, but now really difficult for Benjamin here to get out of this one, because the Golden Go will not take much damage against anything that's going to be able to go into it.
Yes,
The Amoonguss will be able to redirect any of that damage anyways. There's not a whole lot that'll hit very hard. Like, there'll be neutral hits with ground type moves.
exactly.
Rillaboom just has to get out of there.
Yeah. There's no more grass types on his thing, so it's a free Spore into that slot right now. Not too many things of his has Protect either. Oh, we're going to see a Rage Powder.
I like the Rage Powder. Just try to get as much damage down with Golden Go as possible. Or Nasty Plot again?
Just build it up. Keep building it up.
This is what I did to get through the DLC. Just Nasty Plot repeatedly on Golden Go and then click Make It Rain a bunch of times.
So very much approved by you to use this strategy.
Absolutely, and now you can probably go for another Rage Powder if you want. Tornadus does have the Bleak Wind, but what's really the downside of getting hit by Bleak Wind on Golden Go? You resist it, it's not going to do all that much, it's just a Tornadus.
Nothing, yeah.
Just launching out Make It Rain at this point could be the deal breaker. Trick Room does only have 2 more turns remaining, so...
That's true.
In any case, Rillaboom comes in.
We are going to see the Protect come out of the Tornadus. Bit of a defensive play. We're going to see a Pollen Puff. Now, some of that damage that was done earlier by that Regidrago has been erased. And yep, completely erased. And we're going to see a Make It Rain. How much does this do into a Terrifier Assault Vested Rillaboom? A pretty decent amount.
It's good damage. It's certainly good damage. I think the big thing about it for Benjamin is that you're at least reducing Golden Go's special attack from ludicrously high to very high. Which isn't ideal, but it's still better.
Yes, yes. I mean, that is the key. Very sound strategy. If you have anything special defense heavy, you bring it out to soak up at least one of these Make It Rains, so your less bulky Pokemon can take at least one more a bit better.
Yeah, I think, genuinely, I think that a double Protect here isn't a terrible idea out of the Tornadus. Try to stall out the final turn of Trick Room and see what you can do after that, because the Porygon 2 is still there in the back, but at least you know that it's not here right now.
Yeah, it can't automatically do it next turn. It has to switch out like this Amoonguss is.
Switch out. I actually like that play, because Amoonguss wasn't really doing much this turn.
And then we're just going into the Incineroar. Going to... You know, it gets Intimidate off that Rillaboom.
It does, and that'll weaken any damage. I mean, the fake out damage isn't that important. If it decides to... Well, now it can't, because it's gone.
Oh,
Tornado's gone too. That's some damage.
Those double Nasty Plots come in clutch right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that means for the remainder of the game, we're going to see that for Rigorbath, which, you know, now that it, you know, because Junxi can use the Trick Room and whatnot, he has something to kind of like go against it, and the only thing he'll be able to get one fast move, one priority move out of this Regidrago, because with the Farigiraf, this Incineroar can't use Fake Out, so Regidrago is guaranteed to at least get one move off here.
Yeah, and I wonder what the decision is to lock itself into, because I think going for something like just a boosted Dragon Energy is not a terrible idea at this point, because, like, what do you have to lose? Just see how much damage you can do here with the Helping Hand boosted Dragon Energy. We will see that indeed. No switches.
The suspense.
The suspense.
The Golden Go does protect.
I think that's a fine move, but not a terrible, not terrible for this Regidrago, who now gets to focus all the damage onto the Incineroar. Does have Citrus Berry, not the Assault Vest.
And oh, by a slither! This Incineroar lives. We'll get that energy back, a little bit of it, and it's probably going to go for a parting shot, probably on the, on the Regidrago. Lower that special attack down, as well as attack, but that's the least important part. It's lowering that special attack. And there's no switch outs left for Benjamin. These are his final 2 Pokemon. You know, Junxi is pretty free to just keep cycling over and over again, just that parting shot whenever he pleases, if that is what he wants
or
to
even
do.
More than that, I think just going for the big old Make It Rain at this point might be able to finish this one off.
Yes.
I don't think Regidrago will be able to do it here. I don't think this Dragon Energy, especially split between the 2 targets, nowhere near enough.
And the downside of, it doesn't matter.
It does not matter. It just does a lot of damage.
I was about to say, the downside of locking yourself into Dragon Energy is that it's HP based. So if you survive, you survive, yes. But, you know, I think Benjamin pretty much knew.
I think Benjamin was correct in the assessment that I have to use my highest damage move right now.
Yeah.
Highest damage move was nowhere near enough damage. And yeah, that Golden Go, obviously it had a nasty plot up, but sometimes like deceptively high special attack for all of its other great traits. Deceptively high special attack and Make It Rain has deceptively high base power.
Oh, very much so. I think that was a 4...
That one was +2. That last one was plus...
No, I was like, Junxi didn't lose a Pokemon in that one, did he?
Correct.
So,
yeah,
this is very tough for Benjamin just in a headspace thing. It's like, all right,
at the very least, Benjamin at least saw all 4 Pokemon.
Yes.
He's not lacking information.
Yes, and that's very important. However, it's like, I don't think you see a switch in Junxi, but it's like, what do you do in Benjamin's case? Like, you know, I mean, it's pretty obvious that of the core coming in and what he's planning on doing, but it's about these adjustments right here. I will say it is nice seeing Urshifu with the Mystic Water again.
Yeah.
Just in general, Rapid Strike has been falling off. In the German regionals, I did notice that Single Strike has risen up and surpassed the Surging Strike.
Yeah, it's been on the route there for a while. I think, and what's interesting as well is we've usually seen the Single Strike with the Choice Scarf because it matches up so badly against Water Pond, Water Pond Wellspring, which should still be probably at like 50% usage. I haven't checked the Dortmund usage, but instead this is Mystic Water. It does not have the U-turn, but it doesn't matter because Junxi doesn't have the Ogre Pond Wellspring. Does have the Amoonguss, which works pretty well into it as well. But there are worse things. There are worse fates.
Definitely worth face. All right, now we're getting into this game 2 for our semifinals. We're going to see, the Porygon 2 and the Goldango versus Urshifu and Metagross.
I like the change up on the lead. I don't know about this particular lead. I need to kind of wait to see actually what it does, but
it's a little tricky, at least for the Metagross part, because Metagross, it can take Shadow Ball damage, or if it Terras, it'll take, Make It Rain. That's the tricky thing. However, it is a bulky Pokemon.
It also has Stomping Tantrum, which just hits Golden Go pretty hard, which I think is ideal. Yeah. Force the Golden Go out. No nasty plot.
With the Choice Band, nonetheless. And it's going to go out into that Amoonguss.
Switch in for Junxi will be really nice if it is the Surging Strikes into that slot.
See.
We'll see the Transpill from Benjamin. It is the Urshifu.
And we will see that Terra Water. It is going for massive damage.
Going for maximum damage. We'll see which one it decides to go into. If it's the Porygon 2, it's fine. If it's the Amoonguss, this could be bad.
Dun, dun. Dun, dun.
Suspense. Oh, it's the Amoonguss.
And that is going to erase half of that Urshifu's health.
It will indeed.
I have, as someone that has loved using Urshifu Rapid Strike, it is something where I know I know the repercussions of going to clicking Surging Strike into a Amoonguss.
Indeed, and that is going to do half of Urshifu's HP back to it. Stomping Tantrum does come out, and not going to finish out the Amoonguss.
No.
Does actually? I didn't realize Stomping Tantrum was a contact move.
It was, yeah.
That's surprising information to me. In any case, Trick Room still gets up, so now Amoonguss has a reasonably free Spore as well.
Exactly.
Rillaboom's the only thing that can come in to block it, but in general, Porygon 2 can also just start running over this battle. I believe its download boost was special attack earlier.
Yeah. I mean, there's not too much preventing the Spore into anything, really. And then if you don't Spore, if the Spore doesn't work, okay, we have Ice Beam. If we Terra'd, we could use the Poison Terra Blast. So it is a perfect answer against this combo right here.
Benjamin going for the double switch here, just totally resetting the field with 2 different Pokemon. Will be the Spore and will indeed go into the Rillaboom, so a nice read there.
Good call.
Terra Blast.
That does
really like that choice of
half.
I really like that choice of Terra Blast as the primary same type attack bonus option for the Porygon 2. It's such a nice little piece of tech.
Because there's not too many normal types that have, other than Ursaluna.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of normal types that want to be special attacking that don't specifically prefer Hyper Voice.
Exactly. Or, you know, even Blood Moon.
Or have Blood Moon, which is way better.
So it's one of
and
these
Porygon 2
scenarios,
also,
yeah.
it's nice to be able to have a totally different coverage option on Terrestrial and not waste a move slot. It's a really nice little piece of usefulness. There's
Agreed.
Incineroar.
All right. Gonna be lowering that Rillaboom's attack.
At this point, Junxi can play this out pretty slowly.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see a helping hand.
Wonder what this is gonna boost. What this is gonna try to do.
We're
Maybe
gonna
Ice
see
Beam.
an Ice Beam into it, and it does over half. We're gonna see the Wood Hammer. How much does this do? It crits! And that erases that Porygon 2, one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the format right now.
That was a big one. You see Benjamin popping off there. Benjamin knows how important that critical hit was.
I'm loving his reactions.
Still not totally out of the woods here yet, but absolutely.
It is a big victory for him because now he can't set up that Trick Room anymore.
Can't set up the Trick Room anymore, and even bigger, just Porygon 2 had a lot of damage. Porygon 2 did a lot of damage, and the next one would have taken down the Rillaboom. Now okay, so spin for Junxi. Flare Blitz still finishes off the Incineroar. Golden Go is still, or excuse me, Flare Blitz finishes off the Rillaboom. And Golden Go is mad chilling right now.
Mad chilling. Yeah, I can definitely see a nasty play because I don't think one Stomping Tantrum will do anything, especially after that Intimidate.
And I don't think it's going to get hit by a Stomping Tantrum. Incineroar might threaten a knockout on either of these Pokemon right now, or it wants to leave, or it doesn't want to do that at all, actually.
Amoonguss will come back in, gaining some of that HP back because of the Regenerator. We're going to see Farigiraf Protect, and then this Stomping Tantrum will go into the Golden Go, but not before Make It Rain.
That should finish off the Rillaboom.
That should. And there goes the Rillaboom. All right, so now Benjamin is down to his... Is it final two? No. He still has...
No, it's not.
He has the Urshifu, and then he has the Metagross in the back.
Yeah, it was a full switch earlier. At the very least, this is a better lineup. Not a better lineup now. I don't know. I don't know about that Urshifu switch.
At the very least, water resists the steel. It's the main concern right now is making sure you last long enough. Not too many things are asleep before that spore.
I think the main the main concern right now is Rage Powder Nasty Plot.
Yeah, there's always that.
Is Farigiraf going to protect?
It failed.
No.
And then we're going to see a spore into Farigiraf. Interesting. Because I would imagine you would go after the Urshifu.
I like how the outer head doesn't, like, go to sleep. The inner head does.
No. You know.
Outer head is wide awake. See what Surging Strike does here.
You would think the outer head would... Ooh, that does
that should be enough.
Good. Yes, that does look like it's going to knock out. One more.
Hold.
And then yes.
Yeah.
Now Benjamin has turned this around. It's down to his final two Pokemon, which is this Incineroar and this Amoonguss. Now,
why not a Rage Powder? I don't know about that one. I guess it would have been hit hard potentially by a Farigiraf Psyshock. I think it has Psyshock. It doesn't have Psyshock. It's just got Dazzling Gleam. I don't know why there wasn't a Rage Powder there.
Maybe, I don't know, try to... Maybe he was going to detect, maybe calling a detect on the Urshifu or something.
Maybe that was it. But even still, I don't think Farigiraf was or is that threatening. Like Farigiraf is just a little giraffe with Dazzling Gleam. Which a little
doesn't
bit
do
annoying,
too much damage. Yeah,
fundamentally it doesn't do much damage, and what you need now is damage. Like Junxi has 2 support Pokemon remaining. I don't think they're going to be able to get out of this one.
I do think that maybe that he was calling that the Urshifu was going to protect, and it was like, all right, put it to sleep just to, do something with that slot. And then, can stop one of these helping hands maybe.
Yeah, I just think that this is going to be very, very slow well, and there's the Rage Powder.
Yes.
After everything is already moved. And that's some good knockoff damage, though. And
a critical hit to boot.
And that's why.
All right. Now, we're going to see Benjamin's final Pokemon, which is that Metagross, starting back. Benjamin having his leading Pokemon finish this game.
Yeah, and I think I think Junxi's not in a bad spot. I think the
No.
question will be how much that Incineroar can do in terms of damage, because Amoonguss kind of has to keep clicking Rage Powder.
Yes. And Incineroar, you know, it definitely is a big spread between all its different spans, whether it's to be bulky. It does usually have some attack investment, but it's not really its priority, really. So it can definitely press knockoff. Actually, I can definitely see knockoff going into this Metagross just to get rid of its choice ban. But that also frees up his moves.
It does free up the moves a bit, yeah, and there just isn't a lot of damage being done into the Urshifu. I wonder, potentially knockoff into Urshifu, like, I just wonder how much damage that does. Because you have to finish off the Urshifu eventually. You have to do the damage that knocks it out.
It doesn't have that fighting type weakness, or it doesn't have that fighting type resistance to the darkness. We are going to see a Terra right here into the Amoonguss, making it pure water. All right.
I like that.
All right, I can get by it.
There's just nothing that hits the Amoonguss now.
I think
for very much damage.
I think maybe,
but not very much damage. It is different from no damage, and eventually these two very strong physical Pokemon are going to take it down.
True.
Ooh, there it is. There's Surging Strikes again into the Rage Powder.
That is going to take about 50% of Benjamin's HP on his Urshifu.
Yeah, it got 2 turns of Grassy Terrain recovery.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit more, but a knockoff probably finishes it off.
Knockoff would definitely finish it. Yep, and with that Grassy Surge on, that is it. You know, he really needs to knock out this Amoonguss with this next move, with this Metagross. Using the Psycho Fangs, and it does take it off. Now, here's the issue. He's locked into Psychic Fangs, and there is a Dark type on the other side.
Yeah, that is true.
So if the knockoff went into the Urshifu, that's game over.
Yep. And it did indeed. And now Junxi can click Flare Blitz a bunch of times and not have to worry about it.
Exactly. The writing's on the wall. You can't PP stall here. This is GG's, right? Oh, wait.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be it.
Congratulations to both people for making this far, giving us really solid, fun 2 games. Yeah, it was a lot of fun seeing both of them play. They're discussing their battle. We see them on stream.
Yeah, no, Benjamin's team is definitely very interesting and has some good pieces to it. Junxi's team, I really like Junxi's team, like top to bottom. It's just like a really, really fun, really dynamic team. This was a very slow series.
Yeah,
it was very slow.
I mean, if you're going with a Trick Room team with Porygon, all this bulk and a lot of things on there that can either A, put things to sleep, or at the very least lower their stats with Parting Shot, Intimidate, you're in for a long game, a slow burn, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the finals of this Premier Challenge. Do not go anywhere.
Stay tuned.
CP on the line. Don't go anywhere.